here we are. We got the infamous Mandy Rose here with us here on the Dominate channel. Some of you guys know her, some of you won't. But by the time we're done, we're going to see a little bit into the inside of Mandy from where she was to where she is now. And we'll also have some 3 trivia questions for her to see exactly how much she really does know about general information. So, hey, Mandy, how are you? And welcome.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
It's been a long time. It's been a minute. How many years? When was your last show?
2014.
2014. And I mean, we haven't lost touch, and I've been helping you here and there with coaching. And then every time you have something new, you like to share it with us too. But I want to share with everybody as well what you've been up to, because every time we do a show in the WBFF, we talk about success stories and what can become of them. And I would unofficially and officially like to say you probably are the biggest and most successful story that has gone from, Mandy who, all the way up into where you are now, which we'll get into. So I thought this was perfect now to say, stepping stones. And is this something you always wanted to become? Like when you were growing up, were you always in the backyard wrestling with the boys or with your brothers? Or, what kind of lifestyle did you think you're actually where you would be right now compared to where you are?
Oh, well, first of all, thank you. That's a very nice compliment. That hits home. And I'll never forget my WBFF family, where it all started. So, no, it's kind of crazy because WWE was never really anything that crossed my mind growing up. I was always active. I always kind of played sports and danced, and grew up with 3 older brothers. So, of course, we always were wrestling and, kind of like always being active outside. But when we would watch it here and there, my brothers and we of course would watch The Rock and Hulk Hogan and all them, but like I wasn't that much into it. So it's kind of crazy. And it wasn't until later on, when kind of during my starting with WBFF and competing, is when I kind of got more involved in it. And an old friend of mine was like, he's basically said, like, I could so see you in the WWE. You're like a young Trish Stratus. And I took that as like a really obviously huge compliment. And I was like, oh, maybe this is something I can get myself into. But, I never had any plans to get involved in it. And it just kind of happened, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's because I remember even when we first started coaching, I got this message and like, hey, this girl needs a coach. I think she could do very, very well. And I was like, who's this Amanda girl? Like, and then I'm like, has she competed before? Has she even been on the stage? And they're like, yeah, she's a pro. I'm like, she's a what? And she's like, yeah, she's a pro. And I mean, it's partially my fault because I wasn't up to date with all the shows because, again, trying to be a coach and seeing who's winning, who's not, who turns pro, I couldn't keep up. But then I figured, I'm a little more behind. But then you went, because how many shows did you do in total? 2 or 3 or?
Three total. But yeah, I did come out of nowhere. I mean, I could understand how you didn't really like know who I was, because I mean, not to brag or anything, but I did get my pro card my first show in Boston. But I mean, it was crazy because I didn't even know much about competing or WBFF in general, and I kind of just like did my thing on stage and kind of gave off some good presents, and you guys liked what you saw, of course, and I got my pro card, which was kind of cool. And since then I was like, wow, this is something that like I feel like I want to do more of. And it was like a little addicting to like get on stage and keep seeing the progress with my body and my physical health and mental health. So I could see why you were like, who's this chick? I mean, I came up out of nowhere, really.
And that's exactly it. Came out of nowhere, because I remember I was at your show 2014, when you became Miss WBFF Bikini, and when you walked on stage, it was almost as though the whole stage and audience and even backstage. I remember Yosef, he forgot to send out the next person, and I'm like, next. And when you walked on stage, like when you're walking on stage, did you think like, oh, I got this, or were you nervous, or what was kind of going through your mind?
At that moment, I thought I don't know, I had such a like era of confidence that like I felt like I kind of knew, like, I don't know. And I'm just very like relaxed about it. Like I know it's a stressful time. And I think I remember like the makeup situation at one point, like everyone was rushing and like it was kind of crazy. And I felt like a lot of the girls were like stressed out, and I was just kind of chill. I was like, whatever, it is what it is. Like, we're gonna do this. And I felt like I felt really confident, and I loved, obviously, my my physical, my whole progress that I went from since last year to this year, obviously with the help of you, of course. And I just felt like I was so on point with everything that I just, I don't know, I was feeling myself, you know?
Well, yeah, like, it's kind of like that champion mindset, and it kind of, you know, when people have that mindset, I believe that it leaks into every part of their life, whether it be with business or relationships or any kind of trial. When you kind of have that mindset of, you know what, I'm untouchable. Some people call it arrogant, but I like to call it confidence in what you're able to deliver. And then from the world champion title, from becoming Miss WBFF Bikini, all of a sudden there was a reality TV show. You went from, you got onto the Total Divas, kind of got your feet wet in the wrestling. And then how many years has it been from that point to where you are now?
So it's been about 4 years, I think. I lose track, I feel like. But yeah, it's been about 4 years, which, you know, everything happened so fast. From winning, you know, 2014 Miss Bikini World Champion, and then you know, shortly after, I got called to do a Skype interview, something like this, that we did for a reality show with Tough Enough with WWE. And at that point, I was a little bit like skeptical, because I was like, I don't know if this is how I want to get into WWE through this reality show, because it's kind of like a road rules type show. So, but I just, you know, went with it, whatever, and, you know, no regrets, obviously. But since then, you know, went from the Tough Enough show to getting signed with WWE, you know, becoming the runner-up on the show. I didn't win, but I got signed, and I also got put on Total Divas, which was like, you know, in my head, I was winning then, because it was one of their, you know, hit reality shows on E. And I was this newbie, really barely knew anything about wrestling. You know, never had a match before. Well, I had one on TV, which was terrible. Don't look that up.
Oh, you know, we're gonna look that up for real, for sure.
Of course, but and then, you know, everything from there is history now. But it's crazy. Everything happened so fast that I was just like, you know, I remember them calling me. I was on a plane, actually leaving Florida to come back to New York, and when they told me about being, you know, put on Total Divas and signed, you know, a 5-year contract, Canyon called me, one of the head, you know, talent relations, and he's like, you know, we want to surprise the whole cast of Total Divas, so we need you to come back to Florida. It was Tampa, I believe. And he's like, you know, so once you land, you're gonna have to like repack and like just get back on. And I was just like, this was all new to me. Like, I barely traveled, you know, growing up. I grew up in a big, you know, big family where we couldn't really travel that much. Going on planes and stuff was super expensive. So for me, it was like, it was crazy. But I just went with it, and, you know, I'm forever grateful. And obviously it's been quite the journey.
Yeah, now, you know, you go from the stage where, you know, you have the glitz and glamour, you know, fitness meets fashion, and then that was a milestone, and then you're going into something totally new that you never thought you would. Now, was there a certain, you know, WWE celebrity or certain celebrity when you walked in and you met them, you're like, oh shit, this is real. Like this is real. Like, we kind of, you know, maybe it was a dream, and then you met someone, you're like, it kind of gave you the reality of this is actually your life and what you're becoming.
Yeah, for sure. I would say it was probably during Tough Enough when we would actually go to some of the Raws and SmackDown, and but they basically told the cast of Tough Enough, because a lot of us, the whole cast basically came from all different backgrounds. Like, you know, me, a fitness and bikini competitor. There was Gigi as well, another bikini competitor, and then there was, you know, a guy that came from football and all different sports and whatnot. So they didn't know how much we knew about the business, which a lot of us didn't know much about the business. So they would kind of like bring us to TVs and basically like put us in these rooms and like kind of tell us like, don't bother that, you know, the talent, like you guys are, you know, it's going to be staying in this room. We kind of felt like a little like weird, not, you know, saying hello to these big, you know, personalities and big superstars that we know from TV. But so I remember seeing John Cena, for instance, one of the times we were there. And, you know, I remember there were
You
always
can't
like,
see me. You
yeah.
can't see me.
No?
Yeah, Cena.
Oh yeah. That was pretty good. I remember seeing him, and I you know, I just went up to him and shook his hand and said, you know, Amanda, nice to meet you, whatever. Because I was like, I'm not gonna not, you know, I'm not gonna just walk by these guys like, you know, like they're gonna see us. It's weird. So I remember seeing him was pretty cool backstage. So I was like, wow, like, he's a huge, superstar in the company, but at that time too, especially. And I was just like, wow, this is crazy. Like, we felt like fans almost in a way, but we were obviously part of the company because we were on a reality show.
Yeah.
But that was really cool. So that kind of like sunk in, like, wow, this is real.
And speaking about real, man, SmackDown Wrestlemania, there's been some changes. All I'm going to say is one word. Who's the new man? Otis? What?
I got guys fighting over me.
That ain't so bad. Now having Otis as the man, I don't think too many men are going to step to you because, I mean, he's how tall? Like, how big and tall is he?
He's like, I think he's over 300. I don't know exactly, but he's a big boy. Yeah. Yeah, no, he's my man right now after WrestleMania. I'm sure you saw that.
New man in WrestleMania. And then, I mean, the SmackDown. Now, a lot of people say, it's all fake, it's all choreographed. They don't even touch each other. It's all a miss. Now, that video that I'm going to post on this, your friend Sonia betrayed you.
Here comes Mandy Rose. Bang! Right to Sonia Deville. And Mandy now going after Sonia Deville.
That was a smack. Like, you could hear it. That was legit. How did that feel?
Yeah, for everyone that thinks it's fake, you can go ask Sonia how fake that slap was, because that shit ain't fake. No, that was real, and she deserved it. I wasn't gonna go out there and lightly tap her face. I was gonna give it to her. She deserved it. So no, and we're we beat up our bodies. I mean, obviously all the injuries and the the risk that we put our bodies at, like, every day. I mean, that just explains it all. Like, it's not fake. Of course, it's sports entertainment. And that's another thing that I was going to say earlier, like, kind of relating back to WBFF a little bit. It's like WWE is the best of both worlds, right? Sports and entertainment. And I always think, and I look back at, like, the side with WBFF where I developed that, presence on stage, and, like, I've never done anything like that prior to that. So going on stage and kind of like just strutting my stuff and just developing that confidence and finally feeling like so, good about myself and so, confident about my body and whatnot, like, that helped me and still does help, it helps me in WWE now because, part of that is walking out of the curtain and, owning the stage, like, and owning the ring basically. So it's so relative. And, like, I always look back at that because it's like, all these things that you grow up doing, and whether you end up pursuing them or not, they help you, they help build the foundation of where you end up, I believe. So it's kind of cool.
No, 100%. And I mean, now, like you mentioned too, like, you've been through some injuries, you've gone, everybody gets injured, and now we're in a dynamic, worldwide, complicated situation, and I'm not going to spend time talking about it because it's all over the news, but what are some of the things that you're doing at home? Like, you have a favorite exercise to stay fit? Do you stretch a lot? Like, how are you able to keep the shape that you need to be in to maintain the level of athleticism that you have in the WWE?
Yeah. So, it's really important to maintain and obviously keep your body intact for everything. And, right now we have to stay home and be in quarantine and all that. So I bought myself a bike, an Airdyne bike. It's in the garage. I just got off it a little while ago. And I, do my cardio in the morning still. I try to, basically I'll do, kind of just like slow cardio, steady for in the morning. And then later on, if I go do my lift session or whatever it is, bunch of resistance bands and all this equipment I have downstairs, I'll then speed it up and do some like high intensity interval training with the bike, because the resistance with the bike, which is good. So try to keep my heart rate up, and I ride my bike outside a lot too because I'm in Florida, so which is nice. I'm grateful that we have nice weather where we can do that. So I'm just always trying to stay active, so many different things. I have a pool, which is cool too. I can go swimming.
Oh, you got it. Nice.
No, not to brag, but no. So I you got to just make ends meet,
No, I get it. And speaking of make ends meet, now I'm going to go to the part 2 of this interview, and we have a little game we're going to play. I'm going to ask you 3. I even Googled it for common knowledge questions.
Oh.
Now, we have a prize behind every single one of these cards. We're going to play each question you get right. You get to pick one of the prizes. Now, you pick one, you don't like it. Can you put it back in? Yes, but you have to get 2 questions right. You can pick a second time. If you want to return it, try again. You need 3 questions right. So if you only get 1 question right, you get 1 pick, and it is what it is. You get what you get. Now, what are you playing for? We have 3 options. 1, we have a Dominate Spice Trio. We came up with our own spice brand. Now, this is amazing. I know you haven't had to try it yet, so you might want to go for that one.
Yeah.
The second one is a Dominate Surprise Pack. Will be a prize pack full of clothing and articles and potentially spices that we carry. And the third one that we have, it's called Pay It Forward. So if you do pick that one, then what it is you get to send a trio of the spices to anyone in the world, worldwide, that you want. And with that, $2 will go towards a donation towards a food bank. So, question number 1. Any questions before we ask these?
Nope, I'm ready.
Okay. Question numero 1. How many planets are in our solar system?
Oh, come on. You gotta do it with geography.
I didn't even lie. I didn't even look this one up myself. I was wrong.
Why would you ask me this? I'm the worst.
It's the internet. Blame Google.
Oh. How many, Mom? My mom's in the room. She heard that one. 8.
All right. Thanks. Hey, Mom. How you doing? You doing good, Mom? Okay. So question number 2. We're going to ask you all 3 questions. Then you're going to decide how many times you can draw. Number 2. The email service owned by Microsoft. What email service is it?
The email service owned by Microsoft. Was it Microsoft?
I'm gonna tell you the answer to this, and you'll be like, "Bah."
Is it stupid? Like I should know?
Yeah.
Microsoft Outlook.
Like we've all had one.
Oh, had? Past?
I don't know how many emails you have.
Well, when you say had, meaning like, was it old?
Microsoft is still around, so it's still around.
No, but like, yeah.
AOL. Give me the answer.
AOL?
Hotmail.
Oh. What?
Hotmail.
I was going to say Hotmail.
Should have gone for it. Okay, so far 1 question right, 1 question wrong.
Oh.
Number 3, are you a coffee drinker? That's not the question, but do you like coffee?
Love coffee.
Okay, so you can't get this wrong, or else you are no longer a coffee connoisseur. What country produces the most coffee in the world?
Cuba. Come on.
Brazil is the biggest manufacturer of coffee. Now,
coffee just because I like to drink it.
Hey, man.
Whatever.
Brazil has some great coffee, amazing coffee, but the best coffee.
My mom's going, Brazil. She's Googling.
See, she knows. She knows. Now, you only got 1 out of 3 right, so we have 3 cards. Now, do you want, let me know, this one? Do you want the middle one, or do you want the outside one?
Do I know what these cards are?
No, you just got to pick one. And then whatever it is, I flip the card over, and it's written on the back.
Okay, I'm going to go with the outside one.
The outside one, just to show this one?
No. The other out. Yeah, the inside.
Okay, cameras are backwards. Oh, snap. You have won. I don't know if we can get that to zoom in on this camera, but I'll read it to you. A Dominate Surprise Pack. So what we're going to do, we're going to put together a little surprise pack for you. We're going to ship it off. And then when you get it, let us know what you got.
Can I give it?
What's that?
Can I give it to someone? Can I
do whatever you want with it? You can give it to someone else. You can, since your mom answered the only question you got right, you may want to share it with your mom.
My biggest fan.
Yeah, well, speaking of your biggest fan, do you have your biggest fan? Who has it been? Is it someone that's been from the start, or someone kind of grew up with it as well? Who would you even like to thank in this whole process of support that you've had from, again, I hate to say it, Amanda Who to Superstar?
Of course. I mean, the list is very long, but I'll make it quick. Of course, all of my fans out there, I want to say thank you for all the love and support always, and the ones that have stood by me since day one. I want to thank WBFF, the whole family, Paul Dillette, you, of course, Nathan Harewood, everyone involved in, WBFF, because I truly believe that like it started my career here and kind of helped me get to where I am as well. My friends and family, of course, that have always been by my side. My mom in the other room, she's, listening, so I got to throw her in here. No, of course, my dad, everyone that have been by my side and always supported me along the way. Even when my dad was a little nervous in the beginning when I started competing, like, what are you doing on stage, half naked in high heels? But anyway,
sorry, Daddy.
Yeah, sorry, but he's come a long way. And yeah, I mean, trying to think, I don't think I left anyone out. But yeah, no, and there's a few fans that have that are my biggest fan, but there's this one, her name's Lisa, who I want to send that care package to if I can. So
yeah, for sure. Yes. So when we pop off, let me know her address and then we'll send it on your behalf.
Okay. Thank you.
And then we'll do that. Yeah, send it on your behalf and stuff for that. And yeah, so that's awesome. I mean, so tell us about Lisa. What makes her the biggest fan?
So Lisa is our biggest Demandy's fan. I don't know if you know our Demandy's YouTube channel, but well, ex-best friend Sonia and I started this channel about year and a half ago, where we travel the world and we try the best glazed donuts every city we go to. So we just kind of did it to build our YouTube and create content, but it kind of became this big part where our fans love to see us go and try different foods, and now it's become this huge food channel. And as I love food, so we created a website, we have merch, and she's just been our biggest supporter since we started. I mean, the second we put something new up, she's buying 5 items. She's super sweet. And we had her at a signing recently that we did in Albany, and she came with she's decked out in her whole merch, whatever. Guest appearance there. Yeah, she's just been awesome. She's super cute. So yeah, shout out to Lisa.
Hey, that sounds like a biggest fan to me. That is amazing. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to take any more of your time because I know you have stuff to do and get ready for. And I mean, Otis is going to probably wonder why you haven't texted back or anything right now.
Right. Yeah. Not much to now, but yeah.
No, thank you very much for your time. This has been amazing. It is great to finally catch up to see what you've been up to, what's going on,
Yes.
And man, that smack. That is legit. I don't know how many times I'm going to put it up.
Yeah. And don't act up, because I got more.
You don't mess with Mandy Rose, man. She ain't scared to lay the smack down herself. But yes, thank you very much on behalf of Dominate and all the people watching. I appreciate your time. And we're going to have you back on the show to come back with the next update to see what you've been up to.
Ooh, sounds good. Thanks for having me.
And I have one final question for you. Are you going to be watching the WBFF virtual tour that's coming up in the next couple of weeks?
Oh, I sure am. I will definitely be watching that. I kind of want to join. Can I still join, or is that not?
Deadline's coming in 2 days. So, hey, maybe we'll see you on the screen. Maybe you'll just be watching the screen.
Yeah.